La 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 la. Awiti nyumbani linipanga twende kwa mama, mutima nangai akuona furahie, kisha sherehe mama, tule sote walikwa nyama, nikuvalishe kanga kiunoni ufurahie, uwete yamo nishakupa moyo wangu utunze kabisa, usije ukachukuliwa, maana nishakupa chana wenye wivu wavimbe kabisa, wasije wakakuchanganya. Watu wache tuane, nishakuchagua. Wache tuane, nishakuchagua. Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby, oh baby, oh baby, oh baby. Achana na skendo za mitandaoni kwa kujifanya eti we ni homie, mimi ni wako basi nitehani darling. Achana na skendo za mitandaoni kwa kujifanya eti we ni homie, mimi ni wako basi nitehani baby. Tusiweka kando, tutaja tusiku kucha bila bando. We mtoto ndakuhondo, ninajua unapenda venye pambo. Tusiweka kando, tutaja tusiku kucha bila bando. We mtoto ndakuhondo, ninajua unapenda venye tambo. Wete yamo, nishakupa moyo wangu utunze kabisa, usije ukachukuliwa, maana nishakupa tena wenye wivu wavimbe kabisa, wasije wakakuchanganya. Watu wache tuane, nishakuchagua. Watu wache tuane, nishakuchagua. CLEIDDY. Watu wache tuane, nishakuchagua. Watu wache tuane, nishakuchagua.
nguvu sana.
Yeah man, yeah man.
Remember, we are live on YouTube and also on Facebook. On YouTube is E_Square TV, and on Facebook it's Islam's Expression. We are very sorry for that technical issues. Tulikuwa tumeanza and then all of a sudden kakuwa na some technical issues, lakini tumerudi. Si ndio?
Yeah,
tumerudi
man,
na ule msanii wetu wa nguvu sana.
Kama kawa.
Yeah. Si ndio?
Au sio?
Jina lako ilikuwa inanisumbua kidogo pale.
CLEIDDY. CLEIDDY ndio jina la kwangu.
CLEIDDY ndio jina la kwako.
Yeah, CLEIDDY.
Yeah. Mbona ulichagua jina CLEIDDY?
Acha niseme hivi. Unajua CLEIDDY ni jina lilikuja kwa ndoto.
Kwa ndoto?
Yeah.
Okay.
Niliamuka tu yani nikasikia naitwa CLEIDDY. Hadi IG yangu ya kwanza nikipost tu picha ya kwanza. Niliandika CLEIDDY. Na hadi saa hii mafans wamenzoea kama CLEIDDY.
So jina yako uliamka, ulikuwa umelala ukaamka, unajipata unajiita
CLEIDDY. So I don't know what happened, but nilijipata tu naitwa hivyo.
Na mafans wakakubali.
Wakakubali.
Kabla tuingie kwa mafans kukubali na pia muziki yako, hebu tuguzie kidogo background yako, you as a person.
So far nimezaliwa kule Western, mahali panaitwa Bungoma. Yeah. Na mimi nimelelewa na mzazi mmoja ambaye ni mama yangu.
Okay.
Yeah, siwezi sema sikuwa na buda, lakini nilikuwa na buda yangu. But pale mwanzo alikuwa mlevi sana. So haku take care of us. So tulikuwa hatukuwa na majukumu yote kutimiza. Kwa sababu alikuwa anatumia pesa zake kwa pombe na wanawake. So ikawa akafika siku moja akatufukuza. Tukaenda kule mjini, tukapiga tabu kule, tukahangaika, na hapa tulikuwa mdogo, mimi nilikuwa mdogo sana. So tukashindwa tuanzia wapi. But ikaja kutokea mdhamini mmoja, yani msamaria mwema.
Ngoja kwanza kidogo kabla tufike kwa msamaria mwema. Ni nini hiyo ilikuwa inafanya buda aanze kuleta shida pale nyumbani?
Okay. Budangu kusema ukweli alikuwa mlevi chakari.
Okay.
So ikawa akapenda wanawake pia. Ni mlevi tena anapenda wanawake.
Na anapenda wanawake.
So
okay.
Mamangu akawa kama si kitu kwake. Yeah. Na si bado tulikuwa wadogo. So tukafukuzwa tukaenda tu mjini, tukaanza kuwa tu kama machokora, hatukuwa na uwezo. Unajua mimi nilikuwa still young sana. So mamangu alikuwa anang'ang'ana. Yeye alikuwa anauza dagaa. So vile aling'ang'ana hivyo, kulikutokea na msamaria mwema, akatufungulia biashara kidogo kama kahawa hivi. Akasema nyinyi uzeni kahawa hapa, mpate kipato kidogo kitawakimu. So tumeishi mjini, tumegrow mjini kidogo.
Mjini gani?
Kule Bungoma.
Bungoma town.
Yeah.
Okay.
So tukapunde tu pale mwaka wa 2003 tukasikia babangu ni mgonjwa na mpeleka hospitali. Tukajaribu kuulizia nini mbaya, kidogo tu akafa.
Okay.
So bila alikufa, si hatukukataa juu damu yetu, tukaenda tukamzika. So vile tulimzika, wale wazee wetu wa nyumbani wakasema, hamwezi ishi mjini na nyinyi ndio damu ya hapa. Nyinyi ndio mta take care of this land. Mtachukua hii makazi, mjenge, mpande, muishi. So hivyo ndio tulirudi nyumbani. But hali pia ilikuwa ile tu. Ngumu bado. So mamangu alitupeleka shule. Mimi nilikuwa primary, nimepitia life hard sana. Hadi nikaondoka nikaanza kufanya mjengo. Mimi nabeba tofali, nabeba kokoto na koroga bana. Ndio niende shule. Nilipoingia
uko shuleni na unafanya kazi.
yeah. Nilipoingia kidato cha kwanza, mamangu hakulipa hata sari. Ilibidi mimi mwenyewe nijukumike kwa sababu alikuwa hajiwezi. Na wale vijana wengine walikuwa pia wanamtegemea huku nyuma, mandugu zangu wadogo. So ikafika time mpaka hata nikatamani niachane na mambo na shule. Lakini Mungu akaniongoza, akaniambia mwanangu jikaze. Nikaendelea kusoma, nikifanya tu hiyo mjengo, then nikaamua kuanzisha biashara ndogo hivi. Yeah, kuuza McDonald, makangumu,
makeki hivi.
Yeah, hizo makeki hizo. Zimenisaidia sana, nikalipa kidato cha kwanza, cha pili, cha tatu, cha nne. Vile nimemaliza kidato cha nne, nikarudi mjini kwenda kutafuta biashara mbadala za kujaribu kunikimu ili pia mimi nisaidie wadogo wangu. Vile nifika mjini nikakuwa na idea fulani, baada ya kuuza hizo makeki manini nikaamua kufungua kinyozi. Kinyozi vile nilifungua, nikajaribu kupata wale wenye wananipa support, wale walinisaidia pia kusimamisha hiyo kinyozi, na wa big up sana, na wamejaribu mpaka nikafungua kinyozi mjini, nikaandika wase wangu. Then vile nilifungua hiyo kinyozi, nilikuwa nimegive up na mambo na muziki, kwa sababu muziki wangu nilianza 2010.
Okay, ngoja kidogo kwanza.
Yeah.
Kabla hatujafika kwa muziki sana. Kwanza pole sana kwa kupoteza babako pale.
Sawa, inshallah.
Ni maisha, lakini lazima tusonge mbele.
Yeah.
Na kwa hiyo period yote ni nini ulilearn nini kwa hiyo period yote?
Hiyo period nimelearn kwamba never give up.
Never give up.
Usiai give up na hii maisha. Maisha hata yakiwa magumu yatakuja kuwa poa huku mbele.
Kweli.
Yeah.
Sindio?
Na ukiona kitu inakuwa ngumu sana, ujue kuna wepesi unakuja. Yeah.
Hebu ambia ma young people kwenye hii kamera hapa, never give up.
So naweza kuambia hivi, ukiwa na talent, na ukiwa na passion na kitu, usiaidharau ukasema ati juu mimi ni maskini, mimi ni hohehahe, ndaachia hapo ama nifanye vitu vingine. We focus. Na ujipe morali, Mungu yupo na wewe.
Mungu yupo.
Juu unaweza kungangana hivyo, then kidogo tu mdhamini akakujia hapo, akakusupport. So never give up.
Never give up.
Yeah. Hiyo tu ndio ningependa kuambia mayouth.
Sindio?
Kama uko na talanta, focus.
Yeah. Focus na talent.
Yeah.
Tuingie hapo kwenye talent kidogo. Yeah. Muziki ulianza muziki lini? Maanake unapiga muziki kama mtu amekaa sana kwenye industry.
Kusema ukweli nimeanza muziki 2010.
2010
nikianza muziki wangu. Hapo nilikuwa nimemaliza standard 8.
Primary.
Yeah, nilianza nikiwa primary. Na mimi nilianza muziki, nilikuwa naimba tu kule mbele, watu wanasema, "Ai, huyu jamaa anaimba kama Diamond sana." Then wakaanza kunikubali
pole.
Sasa nikasema, kama hawa watu wananikubali, si niandike muziki sasa. Ikawa kuna wasepia walikuwa wananitafuta, "Bro, tufanye hivi, tuandike ngoma tu." Kuna jamaa akanikujia akaniambia, "Tuandike ngoma, twende tu record." Mimi nikaandika na hata nikamwandikia basi zake. Tukaenda kwa studio kule Kitale. Na hapo nilikuwa nimepiga matofali zangu.
Naweza simama hivi kidogo, ipande hivi. Hapa. Hapo iko sawa.
Yeah, nimepiga hustle zangu. Nimepiga mjengo, nimepata kama 5,000 hivi. Then nikaenda kwa studio kurecord, tukamaliza tu vizuri. Hiyo msaka akatupeleka tu hivi. Hadi sasa sijaiona hiyo ngoma.
Hadi wa leo na ulimpatia.
Hadi wa leo. Kutoka hapo nika give up na muziki. Nikasema sitaimba tena. Kama hii ni kuimba na wananikula hivi ngoma yangu, wache ikae hivyo.
Huyo alikuwa producer mgani huyo?
Alikuwa anaitwa producer Silo.
Hapa Nairobi hapa?
Kule Kitale.
Kitale.
Yeah. So ikawa hivyo, nikaachana na muziki kidogo, lakini bado nilikuwa na hiyo passion ya muziki. hadi mamangu pia mwenyewe alikuwa ananikubali. Alikuwa ananiachia nafasi, anasema wewe ukipata chance wewe tumia. Licha ya uwezo wako mdogo, lakini utakuja kufanikiwa tu siku moja. Mimi nimekuwa high school nikaanzisha band inaitwa Maniji Band.
Uko high school?
Yeah.
Umeanzisha band yako?
Yangu, yeah. Kanisa ilinisupport, nilikuwa naimba gospel mwanzo. So kanisa ilinisupport, ikanunulia mapiano, kila kitu. So tukaanzisha band ya vijana. Mimi nilikuwa nasimamia. So tumekuwa tuna perform, tunaitwa mbalimbali, tuna perform muziki. Mimi ndio nilikuwa songwriter, nilikuwa naandika, then nilikuwa na madanza wangu. Yeah.
Uko high school lakini umejipackage kama superstar pa.
Yeah man. So nikakuja nikamaliza high school. Ndio nikakuwa na hii idea ya kinyozi. So nikakuja nikaona huu muziki bila pesa pia ni kazi bure. Then nikizidi kuangalia wase wenyewe wanateseka huku nje, mtu anaimba ngoma anatoa video ya pesa mingi na hapati kitu.
Hapati mhela.
Yeah, nikaamua tena kuacha na muziki. Then kuna boy wangu mmoja anaitwa Ajaga Boy. Huyu jamaa na big up kwa sana. Ajaga Boy na big up kwa neema ya Mungu yenye alimtokea yani. Jamaa alikuja akasikiza basi zangu hapo akaniambia, "Bro, unaweza muziki?" Nikamwambia, "Mimi naweza lakini sina uwezo." Akaniambia, "Njoo kwa studio yangu kesho. Ndakurekodi bure na ndakupea support zote." So vile nienda pale, nilikuwa naimba ka chorus tu, kashalima mama. Then akasikia hivyo akasema, "Mbona usiandike hiyo ngoma?" Nikamwambia haina noma. Tukaenda tukaandika ngoma hiyo siku tu. Then nikarecord. Vile nitoka huko akanitumia ngoma akaniambia, "Mwanangu, ngoma ndio imekamilika." So alinipea morali wa muziki. Bila nipe hiyo morali ndio nikasema, kumbe kama naweza nikafanya, naweza nikasikika na watu wote, wacha nitie bidii. Nilimaliza wiki moja, nikarudi huko nikamwambia, "Bro, niko na idea lakini sijaandika, but unaweza isikia." Akaisikia akasema, "Bro, wewe umeua bana. Wacha nikurekodi hii ngoma." Akanikodi hiyo ngoma nyingine. Yeah.
Sasa sahi muziki inaendeleaje? Iko sawa sahi?
Iko sawa. Ndio maana nimefika mahali hapa, singekuwa hapa hivi. Yeah.
So apart from muziki wewe unafanyaga nini nyingine? Kuna kitu kingine unafanya?
Mimi ni baba, yani kinyozi.
Kinyozi.
Yeah. Mimi niko na baba shop pale Hamza Jogoo Road.
Hapo Jogoo Road hapo.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ni kinyozi kubwa hivi, pia naweka madredi, kila kitu.
Ndakuja uniweke hizi.
Yeah.
Hizi zangu.
Sawa, karibu sana bro.
Tashukuru
sana.
So
hiyo ndio kazi yangu imenishikilia maisha, nimejaribu, hiyo ndio inanilipia nyumba, hiyo ndio inanilisha. Hiyo ndio inafanya pia ninang'ara hivi.
Kweli.
Yeah.
Ndio.
Unaona ni kama hii. Sijanua shilingi 2.
Kweli? Chain umepiga hapo sasa.
In the 7.
Tao 7.
Na kama sio kinyozi, singekuwa na chain kama hii.
Acha nishike chain ya tao 7. Sijawahi shika.
Hiyo ni silver mwanangu. Yeah.
Muziki inalipa.
Muziki inalipa. Kiukweli muziki inalipa. Ukifocus na muziki, usigive up. Inalipa. Yeah.
Ndio.
Yeah.
Remember we are live on YouTube at E_squared TV. And of course man, tuko na huyu jamaa mzito sana. One of the best uprising superstar. And of course man, we've been talking about youth and BBI. Na leo kabla tumalize shughuli yako pale ya interview. Yeah. Unajua BBI?
Naijua.
BBI ni nini?
Sijaingilia sana nikaisoma, lakini huwa naisikia kwa mtandao tu.
Venye unaisikia ikoaje?
Mimi nasikia tu kwa mashabiki wa BBI wenyewe, lakini mimi mwenyewe sijui ni nini kwanza. Juu sijaifuatilia. Lakini kuisikia naisikia. Yeah.
Unafikiria BBI inaweza saidia mtu kama wewe, mtu mwananchi kama wewe, ama msanii kama wewe?
Sijajua hapo. Kwa sababu sijaifuatilia vizuri. Yeah.
Hiyo iko sawa. Lakini nitafurahia sana hata ukitoka hapa uende usome BBI ndio uweze kuelewa, si ndio?
Sawa. Nitajaribu juu chini.
Si ndio? And of course man, today we'll be having one of the best
Yes.
person will be coming here to tell us more about BBI and how it's going to help young people, mostly
Yeah.
my youths,
Yeah.
wa hii nchi yetu ama namna gani?
Yeah.
Sido? Tukimalizia, wewe as a person unajiona wapi kwa uko mbele na mziki?
Mimi huku mbele naona naweza nikakuwa kama mtu kama Diamond.
Unataka ama unaona?
Yani niko na hiyo ndoto, niko na hiyo passion.
Yeah.
Niko na hiyo passion ya kuwa mtu kama Diamond. And at least pia mimi nisaidie watu wa kwetu. Kwa sababu nilikotoka huko si kuja mjini kufanya tu mzaha. Nimekuja kufocus na niwasaidie pia wale wadogo wetu wazidi pia kufurahia maisha.
Ndio.
Yeah.
Muziki zako tunaweza zitoa wapi?
Muziki unaweza upata kwa YouTube, unaweza search kama CLEIDDY.
CLEIDDY.
Yeah. Instagram unaweza nipata kama CLEIDDY da baba. Then Facebook CLEIDDY da senior. Yeah.
Kabisa. Yeah.
CLEIDDY da senior Facebook. Yeah.
Sawa. Tumeshukuru sana kwa kazi unafanya. Tunaomba uendelee kusukuma kazi yako na uendelee kutoa muziki mingi, si ndio?
Pia mimi nashukuru sana kwa kunifikisha hapa.
Haya. Tufanye muziki moja ama unaonaje?
Yeah, tunaweza wafungia show pia.
Tuwafungie? Tufunge pamoja ama muziki ni yako hatukutoa na wewe? Tunaweza funga pamoja na. Sawa basi. Yeah. Black Boy Band. Hebu tupige ile kitu yetu. Wacha nikuache, nitapotea mahali. Nitapotea mahali.
CLEIDDY. Let's go. Nishakupa dimoni, unadai tena jioni. We mtoto kibindoni, takutunza kama mboni. Nishakupa dimoni, unadai tena jioni. We mtoto kibindoni, takutunza kama mboni. Nishakuwekea bongo tucheze kwenye hii game mwendo kocha. Bibi penzi langu silicheze, nakupenda sana sio chocha. Na tucheze bolingo na ngae, walonuna wakafurahie, walovaa masuti mokae, wasijiondoka tena baadaye. Shalima mama, Shalima mama, Shalima mama, Shalima, oh Shalima mama, Shalima mama, Shalima mama, Shalima. Surashiko akitembea, akitembea, tuishiko mengo crazy. Umbo lake likilegea, likilegea, tuishiko mengo crazy. Awe ni pepepe, mpaka za kiopepe. Tuwakumishi wanoko, penzi kani moto. Awe ni pepepe, mpaka za kiopepe. Tuwakumishi wanoko, penzi kani moto. Na tucheze bolingo na ngae, walonuna wakafurahie, walovaa masuti mokae, wasijondoka tena baadaye. Shalima mama, Shalima mama, Shalima mama, Shalima mama, Shalima mama, Shalima mama, Shalima. CLEIDDY, usiseme sikusema, kwamba watasema tutachana, ila bado tupendana leo zaidi ya jana. Chandache, usiseme sikusema, kwamba watasema tutachana, ila bado tupendana leo zaidi ya jana. Chandache CLEIDDY.
Whoa. Shukran sana manze Mzitoni. Nakutakia kila laheri.
Pia mimi nashukuru sana.
Yeah. Si ndio?
Yeah man.
Endelea kusukuma muziki yani.
Ndazidi mwanangu, ndazidi.
Kabisa.
Yeah.
Shukran kabisa.
Asante.
Aya. CLEIDDY in the building. This is how we do it, and of course, man, with the Black Boy Band. Josie. Oh.
Nani? Who is that?
Josie. You remember when Japesa came here? It was like Josie. I will call her Josie. Nimemiss wewe Charlie sana. Wow.
Lakini mtatuonyesha mambo huku. Wasanii. Na kuona pale Edgar.
Yes.
On our YouTube
comments. Oh, kuna comments zilikuwa zinakuja. Okay.
Namuona pale. Thank you for watching. Anashangaa, chain inaweza cost 7k.
Inaweza
Edgar. Inaweza cost 7k.
Kuna chain inaweza kama hii inaweza cost 7,000. Real silver.
Hiya, Beatrice Patricia is saying the show is on fire as always. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Beatrice.
Ian is saying sauti iko sawa CLEIDDY.
Iko chonjo.
Naona role model wake pale ni Diamond. Even the way he's dressing.
Dance unajua.
Yake nini.
Lazima
swag yake.
Shake hizi bana. Platinum.
Okay. Beatrice. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you. Keep your comments coming. Keep your questions coming. We have a very serious topic coming up right now.
Yeah.
So, mwe akona maswali. We have a lawyer in studio. He's going to be answering all your questions regarding the BBI.
Yeah.
Na hii wiki naona squad yetu ya mtaani walienda kuongea na the youth.
My youth dem.
Wanaitwa my youth dem.
My youth. Unajua kishafika east ni east.
Okay, sawa.
You
would say it better. Wakaenda pale kuongea na my youth dem.
Yeah.
Na wakapatia na maoni yao. And I know apart in that BBI, one of the things that tunajaribu walikuwa wanajaribu to deal with is the issue of inclusivity. Inclusivity inamaanisha kila mtu ako involved kwa the affairs za nchi. The youth, the women, the disabled, everyone is involved in this affairs of the government. So the youth in, I don't know which hood tulienda, lakini watu walitupatia maoni yao. So you guys take a look at this E-Squared mtaani and give us your views pale kwa mtandao. Tunataka kusikia what you guys think as we head on to this serious discussion.
Yes.
Hello and welcome to E-Squared Mtaani. Now, with the growing public perception of Kenya having a rigged system that rewards corruption as opposed to hard work and productivity is the greatest risk to Kenya's cohesion and security. Now, you've had conversations surrounding the BBI, and the document is meant to set a ground for unity, public tolerance, as well as inclusivity. Now, do the youth feel involved in the BBI? Do they understand what the BBI entails? I am joined by amazing youth from different parts of Nairobi who are here to help us understand their take on inclusivity as one of the agendas of the BBI. My name is Carolina Chino. Welcome to the show, guys. How do you understand the BBI?
So this BBI is in the sense that the governors were given a maximum of 2-term limits. So these guys are just going to include another tier of governance so that they can enrich their fetish and expand their bank accounts, at the expense of us. We're the slaves in this initiative. Yeah, that's my understanding for the BBI. There's nothing to smile about the BBI.
I don't understand the BBI in the sense that Mzungu alisema, if you want to hide anything from an African, hide it in books. How do you expect me kukaa chini, jobless, hungry, nisome 250 page document yenye inasemekana kwamba it has something good for me? Why don't I understand it? Because with the Kenyan situation right now, BBI tumepewa phases mbili. Building Bridges Initiative, the name, and Tanga Tanga and Kieleweke. Nothing else. One person will wake up one morning, tell me ni mzuri because you'll be included. Another will wake up one morning and tell me sio mzuri, wanajitengenezea makazi. And you expect me, nikiwa njaa, nikiwa sina kazi, nifungue 250 pages. Nianze kusoma moja ama mzima tutatengeneza kazi ziko wapi? Alisema watajipea power. Hizo power ziko wapi? Do you really? I don't feel number one included. Because kama utakuniambia kitu kama kijana, kuja mbele yangu niambie hii BBI inafanya hivi na hivi na hivi na hivi na hivi, but rallying around and giving me pointers and not the full thing, I absolutely not understand it.
So as a young youth who does not feel part of the BBI, what do you think can be done to make you be part of it, to feel part of the BBI?
Just one word: inclusion. I want to be included. How am I supposed to be included? When you create a government, it is said that it is a government for the people, by the people, right? But then, are we the ones who create this, or do people sit in boardrooms wakikunywa chai ya 4 million, then wanakuja kuniambia, we know what you need? Am I included in that? No. Wanakaa chini kwa meza peke yao, alafu wanaanza kuimagine, ule brave mwenye yole, I think anataka kazi. He needs work. It is easier said than done. They wanted like a youth head. Who was chosen? Noli Awori. How old is that man? 99. Is he youth? Ama youth siku hizi Kenya ni 70 kwenda mbele, wengine wote ni teenagers. We are toddlers. We are toddlers. Thank you. We are not included, and the only thing we want is inclusion.
Personally, I don't feel like it's in me being included into the Kenyan system, because for once, like the politicians, they will only include you if you are in their circle. They will only think about me living in Kayole or living in a slum when it comes to maybe political rallies or stuff like that. But personally, inclusion maybe comes when you have a class, when you have somewhere you can call home, but they don't, when you talk like you're from the slums, do you expect that many things will come your way? No. You'll only be included when they say, kuna kazi mtaani, of which, even that, you'll not have a slot. What we want as inclusion as youth, we want to be included in every matter, in tender giving, in sports activities, not like sports ile mtaani. We want to go and put a mark in our Kenyan flag, put it somewhere when we are being included politically, socially, and even ethnically as youth.
So, what do you feel, or what do you think can be done to change this perspective of, for you to be included in one of these government programs, you have to know someone or be of a rank or something. What can be done to change this perspective?
So what we mean by inclusion is that when it comes to including the youth, give us our spaces, we'll do the work. Don't tell us that you'll be under somebody who is 70 years and given the work. Sooner or later, you'll be homeless, jobless, back to the slums. Has it helped you? You have worked for 2 years, not helped you. We want to be given those offices. We want to be given those tenders. We want to be given the opportunity to offer our skills as youths. Because when you have a youthful population, the system grows better because we have new ideas. We are living in a different era. So we'll have new skills, better working conditions because we are youthful, we are energetic. But if we are still being promised being included by word of mouth, but we're not being given the positions themselves, how will you make use of the population which is very youthful? That's why you're seeing many people even in our country. They don't even have the urge or even the availability to go maybe vote or maybe go look for work because they know I don't have anybody in that position I know. So definitely it will go blunt.
Another thing is a lot of youths are creative and they have got a lot of things down here they're doing, such as drawing, making these creative things. Instead of these big people going outside to explore or promote the outside of the country, they should start with their country. They should promote our things that youths are doing.
Currently in Kenya, anything started by the government has a loophole, and that hole is deep. We can see it all started from somewhere, from the handshake. They are building a bridge from where to where. We don't know as youths. Why? Because the only chance we are given is to protest. To something, to someone, somewhere.
In this country, anytime we try to make something better, make it even worse. I think you saw it with the new constitution. So what I can say is that the government should just give us an environment whereby we can employ ourselves. First of all, the high tax rates. If you see the VAT, we pay at least 15% on every purchase. Secondly, I can say the running business in Kenya is extremely expensive. Yeah, Kanjo Badunda, KRA. So you should address these things. Because personally, I don't think the government is going to assist me in any way. But they should just create that favorable environment where I can assist myself. I don't have to pay 10,000 to get a business permit in Nairobi. At the same time, I'm paying the KRA, but nalipa rent. No. Bado kuna stima iko juu sana. Maji ndio hiyo. Takataka ndio.
Carol, just to add on that. I was told, sijasoma BBI, I was told that BBI itakuwa inapeana like a huge percentage of government tenders to youth. Since ndio? Good thing. Fellow, ni how much kufungua kampuni Kenya? Mimi boys niko Kayole, nimeambiwa nitapata like a cinematographer myself, nitaenda kwa any office or any parastatal in the government, naambie I'm a cinematographer, I want a tender to be doing your media work. Easier said. Naambia ni sawa. You must have a company, a tax profile of your job for the past 10 years, 5 years, to show that you are competent. Wewe sio mwizi. I am currently maybe in my 20s. Sijafungua hii kampuni bado. Hii job ni ya youth, tusahau sawa. Hii job ni ya youth. Nitatoa wapi over 10,000 kuregister kampuni? How many jobs na nitazifanya saa ngapi nitengeneze tax profile mzuri ndio nipate tenda. Itena nikipata will I be a youth again? Nitafungua hii kampuni lini? Let me support what Felix has said. Create an environment, a favorable environment, especially in terms of taxes. Because ukisema hapa Kenya unataka kufungua kampuni, all eyes are on you. They believe you have money. Yeah. They believe you've created resources that we can eat. Yeah. Mimi mwenyewe ni asol miaka 5 nipate ka 50,000 kama natafungua kampuni. I am scared to do that. Why? Because nimetengeneza a favorable environment for the government to eat, for the countries to eat, for people to eat, for things to come.
Let me just give you some facts. If I told I have a job, I won't have that time to go and hit my neighbor just because he comes from another tribe. So the government should keep the youth preoccupied with something. Kama niko na job, kama maisha yangu ni mzuri, sisi angalia jirani yangu nataka kumpiga. As long as I'm hustling, alafu naangalia huyu jamaa alichaguliwa na hii tribe nyingine, inaniuma sana. So the government should just create jobs. In fact, these stories always do BBI is doing it. It's not a must. Just create jobs. Create that environment to employ, because we know they can't create jobs. What we get to environment, see when you to employ.
We don't want to be given money. We don't want to be given many things. We just want a conducive environment. Be given the chance to show our skills. And by this, we'll be able to build a future for our kids. And when we start being included, we know how it feels not to be included. So when we get it, we're gonna grab it and make it to use. And how will we do that? will not allow tribalism to come our way. The word we are fighting for is becoming a Kenyan youth. Not a youth because I'm Kikuyu, not a youth because I'm Luo, not a youth because I'm Kalenjin. No, a youth because I'm Kenyan. Give us the opportunity as youth. We'll grab the opportunity and we'll work towards a greater future.
Thank you for joining us for the conversation. It was so great interacting with you guys. Creating an environment that is conducive for the youth to be able to sustain themselves is what will make our youth feel part of the BBI initiative. Thank you for being part of the conversation. My name is Carolina Chino.
All right. Thank you very much, Caroline, for that very insightful conversation that you had with the youth pale Mtaani. Thank you so much to our E-Squared Mtaani crew. That was amazing. So today we are joined by JV. Atatuambia hiyo JV ina mean nini? JV. Very interesting. He's an advocate of the High Court, and he's here to try and help us understand what this big thing about the BBI is. A lot of the youth have mentioned that they don't understand. We have had people here coming to you ask a question about the BBI, they're like, mimi nimeisikia tu uko kwa news pale mtandaoni, but I don't understand what it is. So karibu sana to E-Squared.
Thank you very much.
Thank you it's good to have you here. It's good to see you.
And I'm glad that you've hosted me here.
Karibu sana. Before we go on, maybe you can introduce yourself. Then we can take it from there.
My name is Victor Juma OWITI. So it's the Victor Juma that makes JV.
Okay.
And so in the legal field where I work, I am now JV OWITI. It's like an identity.
All right.
But I prefer to be called a ghetto lawyer. I come from Bunga in Kisumu, and I am born and raised in the ghetto.
All right.
Yes.
I can see your T-shirt imetuanika hapa ya
Yeah. I am the Duke of
Obunga Shire.
And I am
Ghetto's gift to humanity.
Yeah,
Wait. That's
Yes.
That's what's up. Maybe before we get to this very serious conversation, you can give us a brief background about yourself and up to where you are now. Very brief.
Okay. Professionally, I am an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, but I work for the government as a prosecutor. I am based at the headquarters. Our offices are ODPP House on Ragati Road. But before I became an advocate, I went through the normal 844 system.
Yeah.
And luckily, I am one of those. I have heard the youths talking about kujuana.
Yeah.
I would proudly say that mimi si kujuana, but I imposed myself. I just kept grabbing opportunities and forcing myself into the system.
Yeah.
And here we are now.
Okay.
I don't know whether I've left something out.
Yeah, I would have loved to hear you growing up, your bringing.
Okay, I would say,
because you mentioned about the ghetto, so I want you to just paint a picture of your bringing in brief.
I was born way back in '86 in Obunga slums to a primary school teacher, a father, and a changa selling mother, semi-literate mom, whom I loved so much. But my dad died long before our times because he died when I was in class 8. I'd just registered for my KCP exams where he used to teach. And my mom was back at home doing her changa business. And we were 4 of us.
Yeah.
The 3 are still doing their thing. We are lucky that God has kept us this far.
Yeah.
So mom also died when I was in 2nd year. That is sometimes in 2008. And as a result of that, we were left on our own. I was the firstborn in the family, and so I became a dad.
Yeah.
My follower, who is our only sister, because we are 3 boys and 1 girl.
Yeah.
My follower was now our mother. So we are lucky that we kept holding us together. It was very difficult.
Yeah.
A few times you don't know where your sibling is. A few times they are somewhere else, and then majorly you come back together. But we carried on with our empire, our mom's empire, the changa business. So we would sell the changa.
Yeah.
When I was in campus, my sister would take over the business, and
so
a few
you
times
would do it over the holiday.
Yes, during my holidays. Actually, many times I used to go home when there was nothing serious in quotes in school.
Yeah.
So I would just help her and go back home and carry on with the business.
Yeah.
And so it's that changa business that kept us this far.
It's the one that took you to school?
Yes, although I also got lucky to have help.
Yeah.
because I'd performed well in high school.
Yeah.
And there was also a Mzungu guy that chipped in because I was in the ghetto and Wazungu would come to the ghetto. He's my friend up to now, but we parted ways sometimes in third year in campus. So when my mom got sick, it's this money from help that I would send back home just before she passed on. Then when she passed on, now it was the help paying my fees and the help also taking care of us. So I sold changa until after I became an advocate, surprisingly. In my first year of being an advocate, until something interesting happened. I was in court in the morning, and then some 6 people are brought into court. I'm seated, you know how we sit directly opposite the magistrate. That was in Winam Law Court in Kisumu. And then when these people come in, they are smiling, raising their hands, and some of them shouting, "Wakili, Wakili," you know. And we were around 3 advocates in front. So the magistrate warned us, who are these and whom are they referring to? And so I had to stand up because I didn't know how they would embarrass me thereafter. So I told the magistrate, I know them. These are my clients from home. And that's how the magistrate had to adjourn and tell me, "Counsel, let's meet in chambers." So we had a small chat with the magistrate, and he told me, with this profession, you may have now to let go of your business. And that's how the business died.
But luckily, at least by that time,
yes,
you were
I was
able
already
to,
an advocate, although it had not picked up. Just like any other business, being an advocate takes time to pick up. Yes.
Hey, and here you are.
Yes, here we are now.
Here you are.
We are flying with the eagles.
Yeah, Duke of Obunga
Still
Shire.
representing the ghetto.
Still representing the ghetto.
Yes, actually, I also prefer being called the ghetto lawyer.
Oh, ghetto lawyer.
I want to be identified with the ghetto. Throughout this, you can see this as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm now a CEO of Obunga Football Club, a small community club at home, a way of giving back.
That's amazing. Amazing, amazing.
Thank you.
And it's nice to see that you didn't let those challenges, you know, like interfere with your education, and to see that, you know, you have worked your way up to where you are. Ile kujua mtu haikukuwa affect kwa, you know, your journey.
Yeah.
We applaud you. We applaud
for
you.
me, niliona singeweza kazi ngumu grow up. Singeweza kwenda shamba, hatukuwa na shamba. Kwa sisi tuko na a very small piece of land in Obunga. So for me, it was either education or nothing else.
Books or
so
books.
It was books or books.
Or books.
So sisi usingizi haikuwa. Masomo yetu ilikuwa ile ya kutransnight. Both in high school and campus. Ulikuwa unaanza masaa 3 hapo na kakofi kando, unaenda mpaka magidhaa 4 a.m. in the morning or 5. Sometimes you'd read throughout the night and just wash your eyes or face and go to the exam room.
Wow.
Yes.
Dedication.
Yes. And that's why I'm saying the youths should not wait for their hands to be held. Sometimes force yourself. Just grab those opportunities.
Impose yourself
yes.
there.
Make it difficult for them to ignore you.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's very true. Very, very true.
Yes.
Okay. So let's get into the elephant in the room. So as I will call it, we've had what the youth have had to say in the mtaani, and a lot of them, their concern is about them feeling included in affairs of the government. And the underlying message was basically they don't want money, they don't want to be given handouts. They want to feel included, and they want to get chances for employment, and as well as have an environment that is conducive enough for working and for employment and for them to grow. How has that been reflected in this BBI?
I must start by saying that what we have now, which is called the BBI report, is a recommendation. It's a framework for discussion where we expect people to have discussion around it and improve it. We hope the politicians will not grab this and block the youth out of it. But to go direct to your question, let me start with inclusivity. Just like I've told you, I am a believer in grabbing. The youth should not wait to be told what the BBI report contains.
True.
The document is online, and I know the difficulties that there are for youth accessing even the online things. But they should not wait to be allowed to talk about the BBI. We should continue with such discussions that we're having now. Let them impose themselves. Let them grab opportunities. When there are discussions, like the president said the other day, that now BBI discussions will be through town halls. Let the youths go to those
town halls.
Let them break the doors and get into those town halls so that they have the discussion. But then what does the BBI report have for the youths? There are very good recommendations that the BBI makes for the youths. It's not that these recommendations have never been made before.
Yeah.
I must be very clear about that, because that's the other question other people are asking.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need BBI to do this? Because this has always been there.
Actually, that you're actually asking the
I have
question
preempted
of
the
you're
question.
preempted, yes.
So,
But you can still go ahead and answer
so
it, yeah.
basically what I'm saying is that for me, the recommendations, which I'll talk about shortly, are very good recommendations. But the fear that our people have, which I also share, is whether our political class will have the goodwill to make these recommendations a reality.
Yeah.
Because we can have the best of recommendations in writing, but if we don't actualize them, then we will be wasting a lot of time, like we've wasted before.
Yeah.
But one, what does the BBI recommend for the youth? Number one is the establishment of what we call a youth commission,
Yeah.
which I've seen people ask, and they've asked, what is the difference between this, or what change does it make in terms of having had a National Youth Council, the Ministry of Youth, or Department of Youth before?
The youth fund.
There's a big difference in the sense that the commission is now a constitutional commission, and therefore, legally speaking, it is strongly entrenched.
Okay.
Yes, and the purpose of this commission, one, is to champion for the rights of the youths. It is better to have a constitutional commission fighting for a right than a mere statutory body.
Okay.
So that is the difference that we have between the commission and the National Youth Council and these other youth-related funds. The other thing that it does is that it seeks to involve and include youths in both policy and decision-making, so that the youths do not wait at the tail end.
Okay.
The youths are to be involved right from the inception, where we are talking about how do we conceptualize youth involvement, how do we conceptualize how youths are going to receive resources, etc.
Yeah.
So that's an important recommendation that the BBI report makes.
Okay.
Number two, the BBI report also, as far as the youths are concerned, and this has been talked about, for those school-going youths who know about the Higher Education Loans Board, the HELB, like those of us who are still paying right now, the BBI recommends that before you get a source of income, then you are exempted from paying HELB for at least 4 years.
4 years.
So that, despite it just sounding flowery, I think if it is actualized, that would be a good recommendation.
Yeah.
Which is the other one? We talk about also the tax holiday.
The tax holiday, yes.
As far as the tax holiday is concerned, the BBI recommends that youths will be exempted from paying tax for 7 years. The question is, which people have asked, and I also share, is which of the taxes are they exempted from? My assumption is all the taxes are exempted. My assumption from my reading and interpretation of the report is that the youths will be exempted from all taxes for a period of 7 years.
Yeah.
Yes. What is the advantage of this? Let's break that down a little. The advantage of this, and you've heard the youths raise it, is that they do not need jobs from the government. In fact, it would be over-expecting for any government to say that we can give each of the youths a job. What the youths want, and I agree with them, is a conducive environment to be able to do their own businesses, to be able to be self-employed. And those are the words that the BBI report uses. That the one reason for giving them tax holiday is to enable them have an environment where it's easier to start your own startup, a job. And some have been asking, where do we get these jobs so that we are exempted from the tax?
Exactly.
That would be another step. But for me, the fact that we have removed taxes and very many people are unable to start their own businesses, you've heard one of the youths mention, just because they do not have the taxes to pay and the money to pay for licenses, etc. So that is an excellent recommendation for me.
Okay. I can see people are joining the conversation here. Somebody is asking, my question is, are we as youth ready to work? I think that is in regards to the tax holiday that someone mentioned in the Mtaani, I think. Yeah, I think that was the question. Are we as the youth ready to work?
Yeah. I know that question is intended for the youth themselves. So I would also join from my end. Yes, I think the youth have no choice. For survival, for survival, we have to find a way to survive. And one of those ways is to work.
Yeah.
So we are either ready or we must work.
Very true.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys have had it. I would like to hear what you guys think. Whatever questions that you have, send them over. We want to break everything down to, you know, the level that which we all understand how this BBI report affects us, how it's going to, you know, shape our future, not just now, even for generations to come. So the question that is also being raised by a lot of people is, apart from how we as youth are going to benefit, there's also the question of, as a country, we have gone into serious debt, yet they are adding more seats into the government. And I hear a lot of the youth complaining that, okay, you're complaining there's no money, there's no money, there's no money. Yet when you bring in this seats into government, that means our expenditure shoots again. How is that even, how is that practical, first and foremost, and is it of benefit to this country at this point in time?
I am reluctant to slide into the political aspect, but I will answer this differently.
Yeah.
The question to ask, more importantly for me, should not be the cost, although the cost is an important question as well. But the question to ask would be, what is the rationale?
Yeah.
Why are we making this particular recommendation? Why, for example, is the political class making a recommendation for PM post, deputy PMs, and reversing from the CS to ministers,
yeah.
etc. My view, and I believe, and I may be wrong on this, is that indeed our politics is very divided and very divisive. And we need to, as we look at our governance, find a way of reducing the divisiveness of our politics. Creation of more posts, in my view, and I said I may be wrong, would help to reduce the chances of the conflicts. And you see, looking at the cost analysis, we've lost so much in terms of life. Yeah. When our politics, for example, in 2007 was very conflicted, and we lost very many numbers, I think over 200.
Yeah.
I do not think that there is money value that could be put to those 200 bodies.
Yeah.
So that if one way of avoiding such a scenario is to create a few more positions, I would support it. I am not sure that it can or it will, but I would support if I am given a reason to believe that the creation of these positions will reduce the chances of post-election violence and therefore reduce the loss of lives and property that we've witnessed. And for Kenya, we have it. We have the example right before us.
Yeah.
So the cost analysis is an important one, but let us look at the intended reason for the recommendations.
Okay.
So for me, I think I wouldn't go into how much we are going to use to pay the additional PM, DPM, although I have also seen the political class explain that it will not increase as much because some of these positions are just being replaced. For example, we will not have a majority leader of minority, because the DPM and PMs will take over those positions.
Yeah.
The other question that has been very divisive is the issue of gender. And you've seen just recently, the Chief Justice advising the President to dissolve Parliament for reasons that Parliament had failed on its mandate to enact a law providing for two-third gender rule. So BBI seeks to rectify that problem of gender parity. And I know our ladies will want to run away with the BBI because it makes recommendations for the ladies.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, which brings me to the question. This two-third gender rule, it's part of our constitution, yeah? So why do we need the BBI? And I don't know whether we have really fully implemented the 2010 constitution. Why do we need the BBI now?
All right, that's a very good question. Like I started, I said that we have a problem, a difference between recommending and actualizing. Even the laws that have been enacted, and the question that goes around is, why just not implement the 2010 constitution to its fullness?
Yeah, that's the question.
And that's a very important question. But you could see, for example, under the 2010 constitution, as regards the two-third gender rule, it says Parliament shall enact a law for the realization of the two-third gender rule.
Yeah.
It does not give the four-corner restriction for Parliament, that Parliament must do it within this time, in this manner. So BBI goes a step further than the 2010 Constitution and seeks to force parties. For example, there's a recommendation by the BBI that political parties will ensure that the lists that they submit to the IEBC have complied with gender and youth and people with disability requirements, so that we don't fight after they get to Parliament. Your list will not be accepted if it does not meet the two-third gender rule. So that definitely is a big win for BBI, comparing it to the Constitution 2010.
Okay.
Yes.
And I've also seen there's a mention that if you are even governor seats, if you elect one who is a male,
yes,
the
so
deputy
not just electing. If you vie,
female, yeah,
if you are to vie as a governor, then your deputy
should be.
Although questions have also been asked that why not provide for the presidency as well, so that we say for a presidential candidate you must have a female deputy.
Yeah.
Although I know even without the law, politicians will try to appeal to the ladies and say, I am a presidential candidate, my deputy is a female.
Is a female.
Yes.
Okay, let me check out what people are saying on our YouTube. I can't see really that clearly over here. But keep your questions coming. We are enjoying having your company on our YouTube channel as well. Somebody is asking, Daphne is saying, amazing conversation. Is it that the youth expect too much for it to get to that point, feeling not included in what the government does, or they are just not a priority until they complain?
I think both parts of that statement is correct. The government has not done enough to include the youths. The youths have been seen as the other part. And that's a difficult one. Although right now you've seen that I've talked about the party lists where the youths and people with disabilities are considered, but you see that women, youth, people with disability and minorities have now been crowded. It was the same thing in the Constitution 2010. It is the same thing in BBI.
Into one group.
Like they are one group.
Yeah.
We are looking at a situation where the youth can be addressed separately. Like a distinct individual group, because that way now they get a higher one.
And I feel as though Kenya, our largest population is the youth.
Is the youth.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they have missed something in there.
It's missing because decisions are being made that affect a larger number of the population.
Yeah.
Decisions are being made by a fewer number of the population.
Yeah.
But you see the youth again, when time matters, they fail to take the action. People vote in Kenya still, one vote, one person. Youths will also fail us. And I know I have been part of this. Fail us and go back to their tribal cocoons and say that we vote according to our tribal leadership. You know, if we would say that if these people don't make decisions that we are happy with, then the best way to deal with the political leadership is to knock them out. Just knock them out and get people that you think are going to do it right. If they also fail, we have 5 years every time to do what? To change.
To change them,
yeah, so exactly. If the youths cannot also use the ballot, they may need to also blame themselves.
We have the power. We actually have the power.
The people's power.
The people's power.
Yes.
And this BBI will not be, pushed if the youth don't,
if they don't, yes. And that's why the youths must say, we want this rectified in the BBI.
Yeah.
We want this rectified in the Constitution through the BBI. If you don't include this, we are going to drop.
Yeah.
Because politics is about also blackmail. Let them blackmail their political leaders.
Yeah.
Let them get them into action. If you don't give us this, you don't get this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if we keep going through our tribal cocoons, then we are going to miss the point.
And youth, please don't let it be just a few people who are out there fighting for us. We have to be out there, in unison, having one voice.
Yourself.
Yes.
Force yourself into those rooms.
Impose
Grab
yourself into those rooms.
Yes.
Go for those town hall meetings. Those of you who are complaining, you were not involved.
Yes.
I know before the report was released, they held public forums.
Yes.
And it's also happening. So that when they say that there was public participation, you guys, you guys who are watching, you're part of this public participation that we are talking about.
Correct.
Michael is asking, the tax holiday thing is not realistic. Youth make up more than 60% of the country. The government depends on taxes as the main source of revenue. How will this work? Does it mean that the other entities will be overtaxed?
That's a good question. And I've seen those whom I would consider opposed to that particular recommendation. The beauty about the law is when the law is there, there has to be compliance. A failure to comply with the law would give you basis to go to the High Court to just force a government or a government agency to get into force. It is the government's business to now ensure that it complies with these promises, which will now become law. Okay. For example, if the government, if it becomes a law that youths will be exempt or will be given a 7-year tax holiday, then once it is law, the youths should put the government to account. The law provides for this. Yeah. Make it work. So I refuse to be pessimistic, as Michael is, that it cannot work. What we want is that it is in the law, so that the law is on the side of the youths. The question about whether or not the government will comply with the law is one that we've had a history of, but our courts, which have become very good, increasingly very good, our judiciary has become increasingly very good, will be on the side of the law and therefore on the side of the youth as far as the 7-year tax. And then again, the other thing is not all the youths will require the tax holiday. Yeah. I think we also have to be alive to the fact that some youths are already running with their businesses. Some youths are already employed. I am a youth. I am employed, luckily. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing not to be employed. So those of us who are employed will not be seeking, for example, the 7-year tax holiday. The other thing is I've seen people raise a very fundamental question that wakubwa will be sending their children, their youths, to be the ones to be exempted. And therefore, the actual people who are deserving would be missing. It's unfortunate, but I think still I will run back to the law and just see a way of forcing the judiciary to force the government to comply with the law. With everything. And we are always there, especially for people from East Lando and other ghettos. We are always there to give free legal advice. Yeah, the
ghetto lawyer is available to come to your
Although I can't represent them because I work for the government, but I can always advise them, give free legal advice to ghetto people.
Okay.
Yes.
So what you're saying in essence is the tax holiday will work for the youth who are just starting their own businesses or just starting up.
Correct.
Not and those who are already in business.
That is my interpretation of the same. Okay. And it therefore also encourages those who may not have thought of starting their businesses to start, because some of them fear paying 10,000 tax, several licenses. And I think one of the discussions we need to force the political class with is to tell them that there's a lot of, apart from the taxes, there's a lot of licensing fees that people pay. Yeah. That should also be included in the discussion. Yes. Yeah. So I generally on the aspect of the youths, the BBI report, I think, gives tremendous, absolute recommendations, including youth in the arts. The BBI has emphasized on the question of protection of intellectual property, which covers artists and creatives, so that what we do, and I come from the ghetto, we do a lot of football and other talent.
Theater, there's artists, performing artists.
So we need somebody we need a law, not somebody, but we need a law that then protects our talents and protects our creative arts. So the BBI, by making that recommendation, again, goes a step ahead. Okay. Yes.
Okay. Daphne is also asking, she's back, she's asking, hey, nameshika moto ya hii BBI, but we are loving the questions that you're sending. The BBI also recommends county funds to be raised from 15% to 35% at 35%. Are these funds in any way going to get to the youth?
Oh, okay.
It's a very good question.
That's an excellent question. So apart from the increase from 15 to 35, there is also the provision that that is now the national revenue allocation. Yeah. But there's also the county revenue allocation, where they say that 5% of county revenue will go to the wards. And then at the wards, the BBI recommends a creation or establishment of incubation centers for the youths.
Yeah.
It also says that every resources that for development that go to the wards and the counties, 30% thereof must be left for that category I was talking about: youths, women, people with disability, and the minority.
Yeah.
So in essence, that money trickles down where development is concerned, where there are procurement-related activities towards the development in the counties and the wards, because there's also the creation by BBI of the Ward Development Fund.
Yeah.
Then the youths must at least claim, together with their counterparts, the women and the people with disability, they claim up to 30%. So yes, that money that comes from the national revenue allocation trickles down to the youths.
Okay.
Yes.
There's another question that Mike is asking. The government is struggling to give 15% to devolution. Will it manage 35%? We already have such a huge debt burden already. He's clearing that by saying national borrowing.
Okay. Can I say something about that?
Yes.
Okay. So
they're actually preempting all my questions, but thank you guys for.
So the Constitution provides that at least 15%. So that has been an argument that the Constitution already provides for what you are suggesting, because the Constitution only says the minimum is 15%. So you can go as high.
Oh, so it's not capped at 15.
No.
Okay.
The Constitution does not cap it. It caps it at the minimum, not the maximum.
Okay.
So it says at least 15%. So the government can decide to go up to 45, 50 if they wanted, and it was they were able.
Yeah.
But because of what I think is competing needs and lack of political goodwill, the battle between the national and county governments, we have not seen a situation where we've had more than 15% going to the counties.
Yeah.
But right now, that minimum has been increased to 35%. So while the government could easily give 15% alone, now it can only go to the minimum of 35. So there's an increase, definitely.
Yeah.
There's a big difference of around 20%.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Whether or not it affects our debt burden, I am not an economist, but it definitely has an influence on the debt budget. But I think there certainly will be a way of complying with that. Whether we are going to take more debts, we've been taking debts and not helping the youth.
Yeah.
If we can now take debts to help youths, I would run away with that.
Well, we are yet to see that happen, and we are really hopeful that that is actually going to happen. But that is a very serious concern that a lot of the youth are complaining. You know,
yes,
you are adding more seats into government, you're bringing in this 35%, and the debt of the country just keeps growing and growing and growing. You know, where does that place us? That has been a very major concern with a lot of the people out there.
I think I need to add, being a prosecutor and dealing with corruption matters, that one of the reasons why our debt may be so high is because of corruption and what I call pillage in the counties and the national government. So that devolution was a very good thing, taking resources closer to the people. Yeah. But just like resources were being wasted at the national government, we created small gods in the name of county governors and other leadership at the counties, who then are now also wasting away resources. The BBI recommends very tough, or rather tougher repercussions for those who are found culpable for corruption. And we are therefore, in my view, I believe with the effort we are putting as the DPP, that we are going to make it very difficult to steal public resources.
Public funds, okay.
If we make it very difficult, then it means that the money that has been wasted away through corruption will be available for development and for the youths. And therefore, we may not need to borrow so much to actualize the recommendations of the BBI.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's one last question. I'm going to take this before we wind up this conversation. I know we can talk about the BBI for the whole day. It's a very emotional, discussion.
Yeah.
Joe Candy Umbogo, thank you for watching. He's saying, good moves. How is BBI going to bring peace in the country?
I think we've mentioned that. The reality is that different from other jurisdictions. Kenya is divided into very many political regions.
Yeah.
And one way of bringing peace is appeasing, and this is a reality,
Yeah,
appeasing the political godfathers of each region.
Each region.
So the more seats up there to cover for the various political areas is one way. It may not be a sure way, but I believe it is one way of reducing the political tensions, political competitions, and therefore ensuring peace. You can just see from the handshake. I promise not to go to the politics, but you can see the handshake. There has been some calm. There has been a general calm in the country.
Yeah.
So we are hoping that through political processes recommended in the BBI, there will be a reduction of violence during our elections and an increase in the peace.
Okay.
Yeah.
And finally, before I let you go, one of the pillars that this BBI report was also addressing is how to deal with, you know, the lack of national ethos as a nation. How has that been dealt with in the BBI?
I have a senior friend, a senior advocate called Nongoya, who thinks and believes, and I agree with him, that the main problem that we have is not the laws, but the ethos, the values.
I actually echo him.
So while I agree with that, my view is that it's very difficult to legislate values and ethos. It's very difficult to put good manners into law. Because good manners are personal. You can't force people through law. Like how will we punish, for example, a person who does not have values, an individual? If you had bad manners, which does not amount to a crime, how do we punish you?
And so, what is bad manners? Bad manners can be different from what I think is bad manners.
You see, because our morality also are different. So it's very difficult to legislate morality. It's very difficult to legislate bad manners and good manners. So that even with the recommendations in the BB, I've seen the introduction of an Article 11A, because our values are provided for under Article 10 of our Constitution.
Yes.
Most of those, it's very difficult to legislate them. We need to, my suggestion, my recommendations have been, I've done a few papers on this, is that let us introduce good manners and behavior in lower primary school, right from ECDE and churches, so that children grow with good manners. Let us go back to where we started. And when they grow up as good people, then we shall have had a new crop of people. Otherwise, bad manners and good manners is very difficult to legislate.
Oh, I love the way you're saying bad manners and good manners. Anyway, you guys, we want to wind up this conversation. But anyway, keep your comments coming, your views, your questions. There's a question here. As a prosecutor, how can young people participate in the fight against corruption? Because corruption is the biggest burden this country has. I agree with you, Mike.
The BBI recommends what we call a Whistleblowers Act, which protects those who whistleblow. Basically, you've seen somebody who is bad-mannered, a public officer who is behaving badly, misusing public resources to make young girls happy at the expense of development.
Yeah, true.
Your duty. In fact, the BBI also recommends an article on duties of citizens. So it's a duty of a citizen to report. But how then do the youths get involved in the fight against corruption? Report, number one, report. Once you've reported, and this has happened because where I come from in the ghetto, people are very mad when a crime has happened. They are very fast to get to the police station. 1 week later, because our criminal justice system is a little slow, it has calmed down. You start looking for them. They know that this case is coming up for hearing on Tuesday. They get lost. So it's very difficult for investigating officers to get them. So people should come out and report public officers who are badly behaved. Number two, stop giving bribes as an individual. Stop giving bribes. Because when you stop giving bribes, then now the offense of corruption called bribery does not arise. But you see now many people are reluctant not to give bribes because they know they will miss services from poorly behaved public officers, which is the other way to do this. Engage yourself in fair business practices. Yes?
Yeah.
Be fair in your acts. Legal, legitimate business. Fungua saloon yako, fungua your movie shop, do legitimate business. Pay what you need to pay. Don't pay what you don't need to pay.
Yeah.
So that we also are good human beings. The government is a reflection of its citizens.
Very true.
If the
Very
people,
true.
if the youth behave properly, then we are going to force our leaders to behave properly.
Yeah.
And behaving properly includes voting out poorly behaved political
leaders, exactly. And not taking those 100 bobs and
Yes.
saying that this is mtu wetu,
Mm.
that ametusaidia in one way or another.
Exactly.
Wow, we will continue with this conversation till tomorrow if it were possible,
Yep.
but we are running short of time. But thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I'm always ready to come back when I have the time, because Islando is the ghetto and the ghetto is my heart.
The ghetto is your heart.
Yes.
Ghetto lawyer.
Ghetto lawyer.
We love it. We're absolutely loving it.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, any other questions you guys might be having, please keep this conversation alive. We are ready. We are always ready to answer your questions and to also link you up with lawyers who can, expand this to the best of your knowledge. Before we take a short break, I would like to find out, do you know what the BBI stands for? If you don't know what the BBI stands for, please, you need to start learning how to participate in this conversation. Tell us hapo kwa comments what the BBI stands for. Just the acronym, BBI, what does that mean? As we wind up this discussion, we are going to take a short break. And as you watch what is going to be playing, that is what our youth are doing out there to express themselves in one way or another. Be sure to tune back in. We are coming right back.
And wajikaze, youths wajikaze.
Wajikaze.
Wasingoje serikali wapatie. Especially those from the ghetto. Chapa ball. Cheza talanta yako.
Yeah.
Utaomoka. Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back after this.
I have a surprise beat for you guys, so I hope you guys are ready. Yeah, niko na surprise beat manze, courtesy of Black Boy Music. Mr. Selector Ike the DJ, are you ready for my beat? Nionjeshe kidogo manze, nionjeshe kidogo. Can I freestyle right now?
You can.
Nianze?
Indeed.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know how we do this. Every day I can rhyme. I'm so sick and I'm so tired of these rappers who are work MCs. Hawezi rhyme, hawezi kuvaa. Hata ukiangalia, oh man, let me just hold it there.
Ati hatuwezi kuvaa na hizi nguo zako zote hazijakufa.
Okay, twende. Osba on the mic. Osba on the mic. Okay, twende. Random, let's go. 1, 2, 3, let's go.
Na kam kuspin, siki sembe. Na kam compete, na kam complete. Mini genje, nipate kwa street, nipate kwa scene, nipate stage. Bonda mzi, bondea wazi, tokwa tenje. Na kam know this, na kam OG, fungua genje. Na kam na dish, na kam kudish, virenje. Na kam cheese, na kam fisi, kwa senje. Na kam choose, na kam ofisi, walenje. To rap ni game, then kwa field I came. Na kill na ken, na wa drive insane. Nina lines mse, niko alive I say. That's why I make my rap, na make my saying. Siri toboka kidogo, funika kisogo. I mean, punguza kuonyesha watu mgongo. Avo S ndio logo, bro tumia ubongo. If a doll nataka kompe na kina kabog. Woo, woo. Yeah, Push it back at me, people wanna see. Kama YMC wako mekwama na mi. Guna iko na nguso ni ukulanga ki-3 Steph Curry, ball kwa rim, J.A.D. ati wow. Mami mazee unagonga. Beat ikidrop, chekana na songa. Juu vile inajikla, nika inabonga. Jita double tap, juluku imeoga. Mboga ni mboga, kakitokwa na meza mogoka. Shoka kukata majag na Johnny Walker. Soka kukulangu choka, nyaga nyoka. Poka makwela basi ni kuwa toka. Woo!
Yeah. Nipe kipaza sauti, wazushi wapate mauti, bali sivyo mistari yangu italeta uti, bali sivyo mistari yangu italeta uti. Black Boy Media. Black Boy Media.
Mpenzi we
usiwe na mashaka, ingawa mashida kesho tutajaliwa, nikiwa kwa raha tufurahi pamoja, na ninapolia wewe wanivumilia. Tala nawe kwenye shida ama kwenye furaha dada, tala nawe, nitala nawe kwenye jua ama kwenye mvua, na nyota zetu zinavyometameta, na ukitabasamu unapendeza sana. Tuliyopitia umekuwa mmoja. Tala nawe kwenye shida au kwenye furaha dada, tala nawe kwenye jua ama kwenye mvua, kwenye jua ama kwenye mvua, tala nawe kwenye shida ama kwenye furaha dada, tala nawe kwenye jua ama kwenye mvua, kwenye jua ama kwenye mvua. Yeah. Imba hiyo ngoma hadi kidogo niingie na spoken word. Ladies and gentlemen, ARTHURO is in the building. One of the best, #1 vocalist, musician, fashionista, and also a makeup artist. Right? Welcome to the show, my brother. You are glowing, Banao. You look like a superstar.
Thank you.
I need to dress like this one day. Lakini watu huku wataniangalia washindwe, huyu sasa ametoka wapi? Wanasema uweke mic vizuri so that now we can hear you. Tell us, ARTHURO, the song that you are doing kwanza.
About
yenye umetoka kuimba.
Mtala nawe?
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like it's my favorite song.
Okay.
It's by Ben Paul. Yes, and yeah, I love performing this song because I can relate everything going on that has been going on, you know. So yeah, I feel like that's all.
It's a cover song.
Yes, it's a cover song, but I'm yet to do my song.
Yeah.
Yes.
Before we get there, even to your music and also what you do, who is ARTHURO, bana? ARTHURO.
Okay. ARTHURO is a solo artist.
Okay.
That's first. I thank God that I'm multi-talented.
Yeah. It's good to be multi-talented. Yeah.
Yes. I'm a solo artist. I'm a makeup artist.
Yeah.
And I'm a designer. Yes.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay. Yes, I'm from ghetto.
Ghetto?
Yes.
Hivi venye unakaa?
Ni God say, but I am from ghetto. I'm from Kayole actually.
Oyole?
Yes.
Ndio mali ulikuwa una stay?
That's where I was, yes. Until now. Kumeenda kukaenda kuamini.
Imeisha hapo?
Okay. Okay. Mimi basically I'm from a Christian family. I'm a believer.
Nice.
Yes, and me doing secular music. Okay, I'm not doing basically secular, but music ya wananchi, you get. And I feel like there's too much noise going around, unajua. So I felt like Kenya tunataka tuamke, what is there ndo tuende nayo, unaelewa?
Tunaenda na trend.
Yes, we go with the trend. And forgetting that there's so much talent out here, unaona? Kuna watu wengi sana wanaimba huku ghetto nini, but the trending things zinawazuia, unaelewa? So me felt like there's too much noise. Me personally, I had to, I can say wimbo zangu zote, they're about me. You get?
Ngoma zako zote?
Yes, sijawahi andika wimbo without an inspiration. Like, mimi personally, they have a story behind. You understand? So, that's all I can say. I'm trying to get that thing that is not here. You get?
Okay. Being the umeguza mahali, you're from a Christian family. I don't want to cut you short, kabla umalize. How was it growing in Christian family?
Actually, it has been good kwa sababu I think from there, that's where music started. Because before fashion, before makeup, I was singing. Unaona, kwa church, nini, unaimba, watu wanakupatia pesa, nini, they're like surprised, huu ni mtoto, anaimba hivi, how, you get?
Church, unapatiwa pesa.
Yes, church.
Church yenu?
Yes. Yes, so the more the way nika grow up, so ikafika point, kuna kitu inakuwakia ndo unaenda nayo, unaelewa? So ikafika point, I started makeup. So I had to leave music aside, unaona?
So, how long have you been doing music? Kabla hata hujafika kwa makeup?
I can say all my life, but professionally, I've been doing it, let me say, for 8 years. Let me say yes.
8 years?
8 years.
Doing music?
Yes. So, nikaona around vitu zinaniwakia, because that time music bila pesa. Music ndio make it, you need money.
Yeah,
doing videos and all that audio, you need money. And then I'm from ghetto, as I said. Hiyo time hakuna, there's nothing. So when I started makeup, everything was just working, and then breakthrough all over. Nikaanza kufanyia ma celebrity makeup nini. And then I thank God kwa sababu I've never in my life asked for work, like nika DM celebrity, nikasema, I need to work with you and all that. It's recommendations, una get. So nile kujipa yani, kama napenda, inajipa ile kabisa.
Kazi yako.
Yes, and I love it so much.
So hii mambo ya makeup, ulianza actually when? Immediately when uliacha muziki ama?
Yes, when music wasn't working, niko kwa nyumba. Actually nilikuwa nime give up, nikasema acha ikae. Una get? Because yes, niko na sauti, but there's nothing I can do. You get?
Sauti leti pesa.
Yes, there's nothing I can do. And then wazazi si ati walikuwa poa hivyo, they can support you, unajua. So nikasema sasa muziki yenye nataka kufanya hakuna pesa, una get? Hakuna hata pesa ya kuifanya ndio blow up, you get? So I said acha ikae. Unaelewa? nikawacha, so nikakaa kwa nyumba for a period of time. Okay, me, I'm from a family of girls, a lot of girls. Una get ladies wengi sana, wengi, yes. So ile niko kwa nyumba, ile cosmetics natumwa, I'm the last one actually. So ile unatumwa nini. So nikaenda nafanya, ikaanza kuwa interesting, napenda, yani unaelewa. So the more nikaendelea hivyo, nikaanza kuwatch tutorials. Sijafundishwa makeup mimi, but now nafundishana na nalipwa fees and I'm earning, you get. So nile nikaanza ku practice kwa nyumba. Ni vizuri kulikuwa na wasichana, you get. So I'm doing the makeup kwa uso zao nini najifundisha. Yes, kuenda hivyo mpaka sai kumekuwa, yani unaelewa, mpaka ile kujifundisha ikafika point tunajifundisha ile interest mpaka nilikuwa nawezeka sasa zangu eyelashes na glue na super glue, you get. So unaona ku risk una get, tuka risk to that point mpaka sahi mali nimefika, you get.
Yeah. Talking of wewe umesurroundiwa na madem like kwenu, that means you're the only person umezaliwa chali kwenu peke yake ama?
Not really, but I can say grow up kama mindo chali kwa nyumba. Cause walikuwa wakubwa wakatoka mapema, so mindo nikabaki na wasichana, unaona. So I can say grow up nikiwa mindo chali, but si ati I'm the only man kwetu. Tuko vijana wanne. Yes.
Is makeup still working for you in a letter nini ama you're just doing it for fun?
Well, okay, makeup is my main job. My main now. Yes. Makeup ndio inalipa bill zangu and everything, you get. Inanilipa vizuri, I can't complain.
What about music? Kwani
okay, music inalipa, but why did I choose to put makeup first? It worked for me like really well. Unaona vile nilitaka, you get. So music for me, I think I just decided to do music yani ile out of kupenda, unaelewa, passion, you get. So nikasema let me just do music. Ni hata sasa ni mtu mwenye naweza spend ni fanye video, nifanye nini and then I just upload the song. See, I'm not expecting to get something from it, but still I do voiceovers kwa ma studio, yeah.
Voiceovers?
Yes.
Kwa ma studio?
Yeah.
Can you do one about Eastland's expression?
Okay. What do you mean like
you know I'm trying because voiceover it's very hard. Like
voiceover meaning mtu anaweza imba anataka backup.
Not that one that I was thinking.
Not that one that you are thinking. Ile kufanya backup. Unaelewa?
Nice. Then how did you come sasa ukaanza story ya design ili kama aje?
Okay, nimekuwa nikipenda fashion since nikuwa mdogo. Okay, mimi ni mtu mwenye najipenda. Najipenda sana, but pia fashion nimependa, unaelewa? So nile nitakuwa napita kwa barabara naona vitu mzuri, naweza pita kwa barabara nione hata nguo ya mdem nanunua, but I really don't know naipeleka wapi. Unaona? Sijui hata naenda kupatia nani, but juu imenibamba. Unaona? I'll just buy it, you get.
Okay.
But nikaendelea hivyo, but nikasema since I'm doing makeup and working with all these celebrities and nashona na niko na manguo, why not? Mbona nisianze kufanya fashion, unaelewa? So nikaenda ikafika to this point, unaona, na hata kushona si ati nimefundishwa na mtu.
Unajishonea wewe mwenyewe.
Na ni talent. So yeah.
Ukikuja East when you wear something like this,
obviously
watu wanafikiria
for
the ladies.
Yes, obviously siwezi vaa hivi huku, unaelewa, siwezi vaa hivi, but since nimetoka interview ndio nikuja hapa, then hii pia ni interview as well, unaelewa, siwezi tembea hivi huku, but this one is for specific, you get. And then I'm a designer, you know, I need
Yeah.
to present myself to people.
True.
As in, how will you know? How will you know? At least mtu akiniona, that attention anasema, huyu yako, unaelewa?
Yako mahali hapo.
Yeah.
So hii fashion yenye umepiga hivi inaitwaje sasa?
How will I call it? I think haina jina, but I can give it a name ya page yangu. Inaitwa Serto Kenya. Serto Kenya, yes. That's my cloth line account. I think that's my brand name, yes.
Do you wear like these every day? Ukiamka ni look kila siku ama?
Okay, obviously I'm trying so hard nikiamka kila wakati. Naamka na nimevaa, yani you get. But si kila saa utaamka uvae, hiyo ni uongo. But I'm trying so hard for people to notice. How will they know that I'm doing fashion? Unaona? If they don't see it from you, hakuna, how will they know? Unaona? Uzatani nikisema where I live, people just see me on TV, ndio wanajua kumbe ni mimi, unaelewa? But nikiwa around, they will not know, unaelewa? So it reach a point where unajaribu tu wajue at least, unaona? Isikue ati kama surprise at times unaweza vaa hivi watu wakaeni kama huyu ni nini, unaelewa? Yeah.
Wow, we love what you're doing.
Thank you.
Keep on with that fashion
arts.
Yeah, so how many people have you worked with wale wamependa job yako?
I worked with let me say 90% of the Kenyan artists.
Oh.
Yes, you can mention some kwa sababu ni wengi. I can't just wengi. Akina Otile Brown, akina Ruboy, akina nani. You get hata gospel industry, akina Masimasika. You get so I think I've worked with ni kidogo sana in the music industry wenye sijawak na wao. Yeah.
Watu umeingia sana kwa makeup hadi tukasahau hadi muziki. So right now una do which type of music?
I'm doing R&B but sijajibase hapo sana.
Oh, you're doing R&B?
Yes. But not basically R&B because my first song, I release my first song next week. Inaitwa Chombeza. Chombeza. Yes. Yes, na release Chombeza next week. So Chombeza is ni Afrobeat.
Okay.
Yes. And then as I said, Upper Kenya, you see, give Kenyans what they want to hear, at least. Chombeza niliandika okay, Chombeza it's not me. Unaelewa. But at least I thought of giving people what they want. Unaona. Yes, and yeah.
Giving people what they want. Hiyo ni kama nini? Watu kama sisi ndio tujue kama tunaweza kununua.
Giving people what they want in terms of okay, how will I put it?
Just put it like that.
Sorry to say dirty things. So we are being nasty kidogo, unaelewa. But that's not me. But I had to do it for my people, for my fans. At least they get it. Apart from hizi wimbo zangu zingine kwa sababu most of my songs ziko si za kila mtu. Una get?
Okay.
Let me say like sahi Gengeton ni ya kila mtu. Hata kama sahi mimi si ati mimi ni fan wa Gengeton, but nikisikia ngoma ya Gengeton nitaamka obviously.
Now dance.
Nitaamka unaelewa? So at times at least unawapatia kitu wanataka. Unaelewa? Usikue tu mtu binafsi kabisa. You just want to do what you want to do. But ufikiri unaimbia watu. Unaelewa?
Okay. So unafikiria hiyo ngoma unatoa ni ya itatufikia, ni poa sana kwetu?
Itawafikia. Kabisa.
How nasty is that song? Unajua sikuwa nataka kuuliza lakini.
Okay, it's not that nasty, but comparing that song na wimbo zangu zingine, it's the dirtiest song I've done. Si ati ni dirty kikwangu.
Okay.
siasa
Kikwako si dirty.
kikwangu,
Okay.
kikwangu yani kikwangu mimi naona kwangu it's dirty. Unaelewa? But kwa watu they are okay with it, but of which si ati ni chafu, ni wimbo chafu hivyo, unaelewa? Si ati ni wimbo vitu chafu sana, unaelewa?
But you are coming from a Christian family.
Yes, I'm coming from.
How is it going to work?
Okay, I'm doing music for money.
Okay.
That's first of all. Okay. So tukisema nianze kusema ati nini watu watafikiria nini, watu wa kanisa watasema nini. Yes, I'm a believer, but I'm doing music for pesa. For pesa. Yes, na aita ni stop from going to church or from trusting in God, unaelewa?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's good that you have clarified. Isilete noma pale.
Unajua Kenya unasikianga njaa sana. Wanangojanga kuongea.
Okay, just usikianga njaa sana. Hebu tuambie for what you do pale kwenye mtandao, hiyo makeup unapatikana wapi?
Okay, I'm not based like place moja. Mostly I work with Kenyan artists. So nikisema ati niko based mahali, msanii atakuja mahali niko paka makeup na ako video shoot, I have to be there. So mostly they call me, I go where someone is. Yes. But niko down home, I have a school of makeup.
You have a school?
Yes. I nafundisha na makeup. It's only 21,000 kumaliza the whole session, alafu yes. And then nikifundishana ni uzuri kwa sababu tukimaliza classes I give you work. Unaelewa? Because most of the times unaweza pata siku hata Kenya na mtu anataka service yangu.
So that means you travel a lot.
Yes, I travel a lot. Juu hata nikikwambia nimefanya kazi na 90% of the Kenyan artists, si wa Kenya peke yake. I've worked with Alain, Rosary from Tanzania. I've worked with different people from outside. Yeah.
21,000 for classes.
Yes.
Hiyo inamaanisha hizo classes mtu anasomaje?
Hiyo inamaanisha ataifanya mara 3 kwa wiki. Kwa wiki moja.
Mara 3. Okay.
So in a month tutakuwa tumemaliza. You get 1 month. Lakini si atakuja kila siku. Atakuja mara 3 kwa wiki. You get. So hapo tuko na siku ngapi? Tuko na siku 12. Kumaliza classes, then ako ready. Na mtu afai kuwa na ugumu ya kutoa that 21,000 kwa sababu hiyo ni pesa unaweza rudisha hata na siku moja. If you're a makeup artist, hiyo ni pesa yenye hata na siku moja unairudisha. Yes, so mtu anaweza ona maybe ni ugumu aone ni mingi ama kitu kama hiyo. Kwanza tuko Island, unaona?
Nilikuwa nishaanza kufikiria sana hiyo pesa 21,000 hizo siku 3.
Nani atatoa? You get but pia mtu anakuja anajibonga pia, si ati usiogope. Unaweza kuja ujibonge useme mimi iko hivi na hivi na hivi. Na tunaelewana. Mimi si mtu mbaya, mimi mzuri.
Umesema wewe ni mtu mzuri. It's good. For the upcoming wale artist wale wa kuchora wanaitwanga au kuchora uso wanaitwaje? Makeup artist. For the upcoming makeup artist unaweza waambiaje?
First, where should I face
this camera?
So what I can say, usifanye juu mtu mwingine anafanya. Just focus on what works for you, na kama inakufanyia, please try, work hard. Tumia pesa kwa kitu unataka na itarudi. You get, just push. Stick to that, unajua, and then it will work for you. You get, and believe. Mimi sikujua leo nitakuwa hapa hivi. Sikujua. Mimi nikikupea story yangu vizuri, place nimetoka na mali niko sahihi. It's a huge surprise kwa mtu mwenye alinijua back then na sahi akiniona sahi. Una get? So I think someone should just have faith and believe it will work for you. Usikue tuna negative vibes, siwezi. Unajua watu wa Islando wengi wako tu hata mtu akiniona hivi atasema hiyo ni ya hao wase hao. Ujue wewe unaweza ivaa. Usiwahi shtuka. Unaona wewe unaweza ivaa. So usiwahi shtuka, just believe. There's nothing impossible. Unaona.
What is the next big thing in your music? As a makeup artist and also as a fashionista.
The next big thing, wacha tuanze na Chombeza, cause I'm releasing Chombeza next week.
Next week?
Yes, next week Friday. So that's the next big thing. And then for makeup, tuko hapo. I'll never change. Fashion, I'll be there. If you are an artist, you want to be styled, national African gowns. So if you're an artist, you want to be styled, just come through. Masuti, nini, hakuna kitu sifanyi.
Sindio. Where can we get your work pale kwenye mtandao?
On Instagram is at ARTHURO. ARTHURO, not Arturo. Inasemwa Arturo, but kuandika ni ARTHURO. ARTHURO. Yes. ARTHURO Makeup, Facebook, ARTHURO Makeup, YouTube, ARTHURO Makeup. It's just everywhere. ARTHURO Makeup.
So as we wait for Chombeza, we are launching it next week on Friday.
Yes, on Friday. And
a video, full, everything.
Everything is set. Yes. And then as we wait for that, there's a song inaitwa Hisia Yangu.
Hisia Yangu.
Inaitwa Hisia. It's my song.
Yako.
Yes, my song.
Hisia yako.
Yes.
Si yangu yako. Lazima tukue pale.
Inaitwa Hisia hivyo. Tuachie hapo.
Sawa.
So this song niliandika. It's si ati ni okay, I'll make it big, but ni wimbo niliandika na machungu sana. Nilikuwa nimeenda kuperform stage, and then the people who are playing for me the instruments they were nowhere to be found, wamepotea, unaona. So ile uko stranded in 3 minutes, unafaa kuingia stage na you have nothing in mind, utafanya nini? So nikaandika hisia na feelings hivi, unaelewa?
Ukawa dis na feelings.
Hata sikuwa dis, ni ile tu feelings ile. Mimi sinanga hasira, mimi ni mtu mzuri, niwakwambia. Mimi mtu mzuri, so sinanga hasira. So hiyo hisia niliandika ile tu, ile kuwa na feelings. Ujui ufanye nini last minute. Ukiingia stage, mi kwetu, let me tell you, kwetu we've been doing music. As in, I think everyone is doing music kwetu. Hata kama kuna mwenye hafanyi, alikuwa anafanya before. You get? So my brothers wako na band nini. So nikisema hiyo siku nikitaka kuingia stage, nikisema ati nitapewa piano, hakuna kitu najua. And it's almost over 18 years.
Take this one.
It's almost over 18 years nikiwa na kina brother zangu, but hata ukinipea gitaa hakuna. I just know the few things, but siwezi enda kwa stage nikiwa, you know. So I had to just find someone to jam nini, then Hisia came through. Yes, and Hisia nitaitoa soon. It's something that is coming soon. I think I'll release Chombeza, then there's one, then Hisia. Yes.
Let us use this one, pole yake. Nilikuwa nataka uperform Hisia just to break that nini yenye ulifanyiwa na ile live band ingine. Watu ni wazito sana, wanaweza kukupa. Can you perform Hisia, or you have another song that you can perform?
I can perform Hisia, niko na ngoma mingi sana. Hata si ati ni Hisia tu.
Let's break that. This watu tena. These people are the best.
Okay,
Black Boy Band, these people are the best.
I've noticed. Wamesikia Hisia sasa
wakafanya ile mambo. Bila kuambia. This is how we do it, ndio? Wacha nikuache perform and then tutakuja kuchapa ile kitu, ndio? Thank you so much, yani. All right. Black Boy Band.
ninavyohisi, lakini mwenyewe sijui ninavyohisi. Natamani niimbe kwa sauti, lakini hisia zanichanganya. Hisia hizi zanichanganya, hisia hizi sizielewi, hisia hizi hisia hizi zanichanganya, hisia hizi sizielewi, hisia hizi natamani niseme ninavyohisi, lakini mwenyewe sijui ninavyohisi. Natamani niimbe kwa sauti, lakini hisia zanichanganya. Hisia hizi zanichanganya, hisia hizi sizielewi, hisia hizi I need you forever, chérie, forever together. Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby, I need you forever, chérie, forever together. One time, two time, three time, oh baby. Wanipagawisha, wanipagawisha, wanipagawisha. One time, two time, three time, oh baby. Wanipagawisha, wanipagawisha, wanipagawisha. Hisia hizi zanichanganya, hisia hizi sizielewi, hisia hizi hisia hizi zanichanganya, hisia hizi sizielewi, hisia hizi hisia hizi, hisia, hisia, hisia hizi, hisia, 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 hisia.
Hisia hizi yanichanganya, hisia hizi yanichanganya, yanichanganya.
Unaweza.
Noma. Can you just stand here hapa katikati hapa?
Hapa katikati.
Yeah, hapa katikati. We need to glow like together. You see this beautiful lady? She's back. She's back. It's been good to see you. Do you have anything to say to me?
First and foremost, I love everything.
Thank you so much.
I've just been here just taking photos, you guys. Nione ni nini naweza iba kwa hii look yani. And I don't know, today kwani kulikuwa na dress code. Why are we all in black? There was a dress, kulikuwa na memo. Wow. Thanks for adhering to that memo. But thank you so much for coming through. I love your voice.
Thank you.
I really love your voice.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Awikide anapenda kusema ni sauti inatoa nyoka pangoni. Alafu inaua. But I love it. I love everything that you're doing. What I didn't understand is if I want to get any designs from you, how do I reach to you? Can I just get you through the ARTHURO makeup page on Instagram, on IG or Facebook, wherever?
Yeah, sure. On ARTHURO makeup nimeweka account ya clothesline kwa my bio, so you can't get confused. But basically on my social medias, if you just DM me,
Yeah.
misilengangi mtu, mimi mtu mzuri.
Sawa. ARTHURO hata walenga by the way. Just get this look. Get this look.
There's much more. There's much more. There's much more.
There's much more where this came from. Yeah.
Yes,
I'm just loving it. This will make
Thank
such
you.
a nice gown.
I know, right?
Very, very nice gown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we have come to the end of the show. Not we are coming. We have come to the end of the show. Wow. I don't know how. I hope you guys have learned something. On top of all this entertainment, all this glam, and I hope you guys have learned something regarding the BBI and the fact that you guys need to be, mchangamke, be part of this process. Don't let it to be the political leaders or watu wenye mnawasemanga wenye wako huko juu. Si hao watu wako huko juu. It's you and I that are going to be affected by this, even for generations to come. So please take part in the process of this BBI. And that is how I want to wrap this show today. I don't know kama wiki leo kuna kitu ingine ya kusema kabla we get to hear Hisia once again. Jumi nataka kusikia hiyo ngoma tena.
We really need to hear Hisia. Yeah. I didn't like it. Inafaa madoido kidogo. But watu wasome BBI, like for real young people. Wacha tuweze ku understand. Yeah. Still.
That's what's up. And we have come to the end of the show. Please, guys, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so. Na uringa ko kabel that will show you when we are having any content that is put up on our channel. Follow, subscribe, find us on our YouTube on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We are across all those platforms. Follow us, subscribe, like, love, share your love. Tell us also what you think about the show, what you would like to hear from us as well.
Yeah. And of course, man, not forgetting one of the baddest. These people are so amazing, yani.
Wameredeem ARTHURO.
Wamepunguza ile uchungu.
Ile uchungu ya Hisia.
Wamepunguza yani. Black Boy Band, our resident band, yani. For the amazing things.
Yeah.
Josephine, we need to listen to Hisia.
That is it. I have been your host, Josephine. See you again next week, same time, same place.
Yes, and this is how we do it. They call me the S to the I to the E, number one MC, Mr. You better act like, if you don't know now, MC Awiki Day is my name. Hisia.
Shine, my friend, shine.
I need this one, don't you shine vizuri. Can we do it? We can fly. Na nambiaga watu vini msanii hawasiki. Let's do this here. So I'm doing the backup.
Yes, you can do the backup.
Then let me do the backup.
Yeah.
Which one is the key? Give me the key. The padlock.
Natamani niseme ninavyohisi, lakini mwenyewe sijui ninavyohisi. Natamani niimbe kwa sauti, lakini hisia zanichanganya. Hisia hizi zanichanganya, hisia hizi sizielewi, hisia hizi. Hisia hizi zanichanganya, hisia hizi sizielewi, hisia hizi. I've been wandering around, searching around for you, baby. Hisia hizi, hisia. Natamani niseme ninavyohisi, lakini mwenyewe sijui ninavyohisi. Natamani niimbe kwa sauti, lakini hisia zanichanganya.
unachanganya hisia hizi